Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Airport CEO here on BongoPlanes, where we are continuing our construction of Copenhagen Airport, or at least our replica of that airport, and we still have plenty of things to do. Last time we started off a whole new section of the airport, more specifically the sections E and G at Copenhagen Airport, and that is where we will be continuing today to see how far we can get with that. As always, before we get too far into today's video, if you should end up enjoying this episode, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. Alright, so we will be building sections E and G pretty much in parallel because they are, well, very much interconnected, and we are also changing this a little bit compared to how it is in real life. But for practical reasons, because we do need to take into account how the game actually works and how that handles certain situations, particularly when it comes to remote stands. So you can already see we've placed a lot of bus stops here alongside what will be E section of Terminal 3. In real life, we've established last time that the bus drop-off point would be further or closer to C section or C concourse, but we will do it a little bit different here. I have established, or I figured out, so basically for all the stands that we will be adding here, we will be sufficient with 2 baggage bays. We will continue working on the baggage system in the next episode, because right now I just want to establish how more or less the rough layout should be for these 2 sections of the airport. So as I talked about in the last episode, E section is actually pretty much only comprising of 3 stands, which are having jet bridges, so that will all happen on first floor level. But then we have all the space here on ground floor level, which we will be using for the remote stands, which I guess technically will then count or be counted as part of G section, because I think, well, actually we can see how it goes, but it will be more connected with a G section, because the G section, which is the furthest point of this building, is in real life only having a ground floor level, because the stands there do not have jet bridges. But I'm thinking about a fairly simple system for this part, serving the remote stands. We will have a waiting area with some boarding desks, obviously, and we will have basically from that area then all the remote stands served. Passengers will obviously arrive from Terminal 3. They will pass by C section or C concourse, and then go towards E and all the way over to G. Basically at the end of E, which is on first floor level, you then have the stairs which lead you down to G. I know there are some letters missing in the alphabet there, but ask Copenhagen Airport why they did it like this, I don't know. Anyway, so basically passengers will come, walk all the way to the very far end of E section, and then go down the stairs, and then we have all this area here where we have the remote stands and we have G concourse. I'm trying to work a lot with these window sections, also basically using them as internal walls. It's not something I've done a lot with in the past, but I think it gives it all a nice look, and we do also see stuff like this in real life, that you don't just have like window sections at the outer walls of a building, but you do kind of have window sections that are maybe used as a wall. So here we will have like the boarding desks, and then you will have a section here where passengers then can walk towards the bus stops from where they then will be brought to the remote stands. I think that can give the whole area here a really nice look, and a little bit different than maybe other parts of the airport so far, which is also important because, well, at least G concourse is very different to the rest of Copenhagen Airport, because the G concourse specifically is the low-cost terminal of Copenhagen Airport. That doesn't mean much, because most low-costers actually do operate out of the other parts of the airport. As far as I know, the only real low coster that is operating out of G Concourse so far or to date is EasyJet. Norwegian, I don't know if they're still there. They're kind of withdrawing from the Danish market at the moment, like with all the other markets they have. But they used to operate out of, I think, A and maybe B from over at Terminal 2. Wizz, I'm not quite sure about, but I don't think they were at a G Concourse. And yeah, so mainly the only operator in real life at G used to be, and perhaps still is, EasyJet. And we will try to do the same here, basically, which means that when we have finished constructing all of this and when we are starting to operate, what I want to do is actually I want to auto-assign the remote stands, maybe not all of them, but at least a handful of them, and definitely the 3 stands we have right at G Concourse to be only operated by EasyJet. Now, what you might also have noticed here is that, of course, I'm again spending a lot of time making sure that our staff is well served with staff rooms, and here also with a staff bathroom. The reason why I'm placing the staff room here is because we do have the service car parks here as well, which is where the ramp agents will be going to the remote stand. So they will enter a service car here and then be driven to the remote stand. So I want to have a staff room close by in the hopes that, staff will stay around this area, stay close to the area here, because let's say they were coming from a staff room somewhere else in Terminal 3, they would have to walk quite a distance, because I mean, in real life, this part of the airport, even though this, of course, the ground floor here is fictional, but E and G concourses, it's quite a walk in real life. So if you were staff and would have to work over there, I'm pretty sure you would appreciate if you actually had a staff room close by, so you didn't have to go all the way back to the main part of Terminal 3 every time you finished a job. Alright, but let's also quickly talk a little bit about G Concourse or G section overall, because obviously it is the low-cost terminal, and that means the layout of this area is actually a bit different than with the rest of Copenhagen Airport. Basically what it is, it's just a big empty building. It's a shed. It's a big shed. So we don't have, for example, we don't have the jet bridges because boarding is handled on ground floor level. So we need to get some air stairs at some point. And then you just have this open floor area. You do have a few small shops. Basically, you do have cafes there or something like that. And that's pretty much it. And then you just have the waiting area. It's actually rather bare-boned in real life. I think we will try to add a little bit more to it, but we don't have any like walled-off sections or waiting areas like we do see at the other concourses of Copenhagen Airport. But here it's really just an open floor plan and one big room. And I think, or I understand that the main reason why this architecturally is so different to what we see at other parts of Copenhagen Airport is not just because it's a fairly new part of the airport, but it's mainly because, well, it is meant to be the low-cost terminal. So they also want to have it reflect that. That means they have saved a lot of cost. They're not adding a lot of fancy stuff. And it should just be a simple and functional building that serves low-costers to reduce costs all across any part of operating this terminal and handling aircraft around this area or this part of the airport. Does an airport terminal really need to look cheap just because it operates low-costers? I don't know, but that's basically the philosophy behind this part of the terminal. And we will try to, at least to some degree, also do that or replicate that here. But that does obviously not mean that we are neglecting the needs of our passengers. Just as in real life, we will also be adding some shops and some cafes. Of course, also have plenty of bathrooms because we know that passengers do like those. But no, obviously, I've said it many times, but we are trying to replicate the airport, but obviously we do also kind of try to work the game the way it's supposed to be played. It is, after all, a game and not reality. So, and we do also have the goal still to like achieve a 5-star rating one day. I don't know if it's actually possible. I mean, technically it is, but I don't know what to do to get there. But we will do our very best, and that also, of course, means that we do need to always look at also playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, which will be kind of a compromise when it comes to building a one-to-one replica of Copenhagen Airport. But anyway, I've talked about that many times before. So we've added a little cafe on one side of the terminal, which I'm not entirely sure. I mean, obviously this is also actually way smaller than in real life, but we had to do the compromise of reducing the size of actually the entire part, both E section, G section, and also the maintenance area, because we just didn't have the space, unfortunately, to build it as in real life. But nonetheless, we do have some space, and for that we can of course here work on these shops as well over here, so that we cover the basic needs. So we will have 2 cafes and we will have 1 shop here. We might also add some vending machines at some point. Bathrooms we do have. We have places where they can rest, where they're waiting, when they're waiting for the aircraft. The only thing we don't really have over here are lounges. I mean, in real life, I don't know how much sense it would make to have a lounge for a low coster, but obviously it is possible in the game. So we could think about maybe sometime at some point later down the line to try to add an EasyJet lounge here around the area if we are planning on actually mainly operating EasyJet out of G. But we will have to see if it makes any sense, if it can maybe improve some ratings. Yeah, but that's something for way later in the season. All right, but we have actually done really well so far. I mean, we are almost done with the ground floor level here, both of E and G, which is really awesome. Yeah. So there's one thing I also wanted to take a look at, and that is, of course, in real life, it is a very... It's quite a walk. I don't want to say it's a very long walk, but it is quite a walk over from security check and then all the way over here. So hold on, what's going on here? Just a second. Who are you? You're a passenger. You need the bathroom. You're hungry. You're basically a grumpy. Why are you over here? You have no energy. Why are you over here? Interesting. I mean, there's nothing to walk over here for other than the bathroom, but surely there are other bathrooms over at Terminal 3. All right, anyway, he had a long walk. Okay, I hope he will make it back in time for his flight. So one thing I want to improve upon here compared to the real airport is that I want to walk. I want to add the walkalators so that the passengers don't have to walk quite as far or as long. They can reduce the time to reach G section or even E here. Yeah, this is an improvement compared to real life because they do not have them, but I think maybe not entirely necessary, but I don't think it will hurt us in the long run. Alright, but given that I'm clearly struggling to articulate myself and formulate a clear sentence structure, I guess this passenger just took me very much by surprise. I'm just going to add a few more things here and there, some vending machines, some small minor improvements around these parts of the airport. But I think we are coming towards the end of today's episode. I'm really happy with the progress we've made here so far today. This is a major step forward in our attempt of completing Copenhagen Airport. Oh my god, I've said the word, but we still have plenty of things to do, so don't worry, the season is far from over. But anyway, this episode is now coming to an end. So if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out. and bye. You would think that after so many episodes that I'm able to just speak clearly and without a lot of mistakes, wouldn't you? But apparently not. Oh, I'm still recording. Bye!